What's cracking, everybody? Live from New York City. It's Thursday Night Live with RNA Music. Hey guys, what's up? It's RNA Music. I thought I'd do a live stream. I'm here after work. Well, come on now. Whatever. All right. It's Thursday night. Shop is closed. I've been up here restringing guitars. So long day of teaching lessons. And then I have a couple of guitars to restring and clean for people. I don't have a lot of time always to do that. So sometimes I have to stay after closing. Cars go fast. Hi, Mike. Trying to get my stupid browser to work. Hold on. There we are. So I can monitor. No. Sorry. I was trying to find it. Nope, not that. Why is this not working? Sorry. Mike, Jeffrey, howdy. All right, I was trying to monitor that on my iPad. I'm restringing guitars. Let's see if I can show you what I got. Whoa. Got an acoustic right here. Laptop. All right, so I'm restringing. I'm going to be here. Yeah, I got one more after this. So I've already restrung and cleaned one guitar, and I'm on my second. I have another to go. Got it. Thank you. Oh, sweet. Now I can see the chat. Okay. So I kind of thought while I'm here working, why not go live and talk with you guys a little bit. Normally we film Ask RNA on Thursday nights after we close the shop, but not tonight. But I did have to stay. And do some work. So here we go. Got some secret sauce guitar cleaner that I'm really liking. There's a chance we may release it under our own thing. RNA Music guitar cleaner. We just sell it ourselves. So I can't really tell you what it is right now. But I have a friend who has another store, and that's what they use for cleaning guitars. He's like, hey, you want to get in on some of this stuff? And I'm like, yes, I do. So far, I like it. I usually use the Music Nomad cleaner or the D'Addario cleaner. D'Addario. But I like this stuff so far. So come on now. That is a big nut right there. If you don't have one of these are great. Music Nomad screwdrivers. They got these little nice hexes. And ooh, there we are. That's the one. That's the one Papa needed. What is that? 14 millimeter to tighten these nuts on the tuning pegs. We got Mike in the house, Jeffrey, David Belcher. Wow. That one is really loose. Well, I thought it was the 14. Maybe it's the 12. Yep. It's the 12. It's the climb. How are you guys doing? Mike? Great show. Oh, I thought you said you were watching from work. Who's at work right now? Any of you guys? This is a Yamaha CJ838S2. Very nice acoustic guitar. Yamaha makes good stuff. I'm a big fan. Yamaha. We bought Angela's acoustic guitar as a Yamaha. Very nice. Anyways, I just thought I would hop on, and we're not filming Ask RNA tonight. We might film it tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Shoot, tomorrow is my birthday party. So we can't do it after work tomorrow. So if we film Ask RNA, we'll have to do it tomorrow morning. So Saturday? No, Saturday is my actual birthday, and I think I'm going somewhere with my son, Nicholas. We're going to go, do some nerd stuff. Alan's guitar channel. Hello. My son has gotten into playing BattleTech, which is a tabletop board game, strategy thing. You use these little miniatures. I used to play it when I was a kid back in the 80s, and then he's gotten into it. So thank you, David. So they're having like an all-day BattleTech tournament this Saturday, and he's wants to go and play that. He's like, Dad, come on. So all his nerd buddies, who are probably my age, who play BattleTech, they want to meet me because I still have all my stuff from like the 80s, my little miniatures and all that stuff. Jeffrey said, how often do you moisturize your fretboards? I don't have a set schedule for when I do it. I just look at the fretboard, and if it seems kind of dry, I will treat it. Music Nomad F1 oil. I like that a lot. I use that for the treating the fretboards. I have a bunch of this stuff. Kaiser polish wipes. Wood polish for instruments. One packaged wipe. I don't know that Kaiser makes this anymore. If you don't know, Kaiser Capos is based out of Canton, Texas, home of RNA music. So I have a really great relationship with the people over at Kaiser Capos. And a couple of years ago, I guess I got some of this stuff from them. And so I have an entire box full of these little wipies. And they're basically, it's like this. And, it does the same thing as the F1 oil for treating your fretboard so it doesn't dry out. I've already done this guitar, actually. But when I restring guitars for other people, I tend to come in, and if it needs to be conditioned, I'll just go ahead and do it. I don't really charge extra. I just charge our restringing fee. Like for us, it's, cost of strings, which runs about, $8.50 for a set of strings, give or take, unless you get some coated ones or something fancy. And then $15 is my labor for restringing your guitar for you. If it's not a Floyd Rose and if it's not a 12 string. Floyd Rose and 12 strings are a whole different animal. But anyways, while I'm doing this, I'll clean the guitar. I'll condition the fretboard if it needs it. I'll tighten the nuts and stuff, and I just kind of can't not do that. If it needs it, I'll just do it because I'm a nerd. And it's funny. I kind of find this therapeutic in a way, restringing guitars. I find it funny that people will pay me to do it. I'm like, it's like putting gas in your car. You know what I mean? It's like everybody should know how to pump gas and put it in their car. So restringing your guitar, I feel like, is not that complicated. So, but I understand some people hate doing it. It's going to get loud. Just a second. I got one of these little drill bits. Hope it's not too loud. Ticker Productions. How long have you been teaching? Oh, man. We talked about that in one of our Ask RNA videos a couple of weeks ago. Since the 90s. 94. So a long time. I taught high school drumline while I was in college. While I was a freshman in college in 1994, I was teaching high school drum lines, their percussion parts and their percussion music. So I've actually like getting paid to teach since the 90s. So that was my first paid teaching gig was teaching drumline in the 90s. Let me do this real quick. Whoop, wrong direction. ASMR. Is this what that is? ASMR? Floyd Roses are kind of a pain in the butt, Jeffrey. I have a student who's a senior this year, senior in high school, and he had a kind of a not super awesome electric guitar that he got from someone in his family. That's what he started on, and then he saved his money and went and bought his own guitar. And he bought a Schecter, which I approve of, but he also bought a Floyd Rose, which I do not really approve of for your first guitar. And if he would have asked me first, I would have been like, oh, dude, maybe don't get a Floyd for your first kind of real guitar, because the maintenance and, string changes, and like if you want to do like a different alternate tuning or something, Floyd Rose is just not easy. Are we still going? Okay, we are still going. Good. I didn't end that accidentally, I hope. I'm trying to adjust the microphone, but Floyds are not ideal. And even today, like I let him play one of my guitars, and he was talking about, yeah, I think I want to get another one. Maybe I'll trade in this Floyd Rose. I'm like, don't trade it in, bro. I mean, this is your first guitar you bought with your own money. I would keep it. I would get another guitar. And don't get a Floyd Rose for your second guitar, but keep that first one, man, because it's a perfectly fine guitar. It's not a fancy Schecter Floyd, but it's nothing wrong. It's perfectly fine. I was like, but bro, keep it, man, because like 10 years from now, you've been playing guitar for 10 years, you'll be way more comfortable with fiddling with them. And 10 years from now, Floyd Rose is like, yeah, it's a bit of a pain to work on, but it's not a big deal. So I would keep it. I still have the first guitar I ever bought with my own money. So you guys, here's a question while I run the drill. How many of you guys and girls still have your first guitar that you bought with your own money? Not counting one, your parents maybe bought you. That's a good question. Do you still have the first guitar you bought with your money? And what is it? I see that there's 10 people watching right now, but I only see Mike, Jeffrey, and David, and Ticker Productions in the chat. Who else is in the chat? Comment real quick. Tell me where you're from. Where are you watching from right now? Also, tell me, who has their first guitar that they bought with their money? Anybody? New York, what up? Like New York City, or are you just New York State? There's more to New York than New York City. If you're curious, we're putting D'Addario 11 to 52s on this acoustic guitar. I'm a big fan. If you have not tried 11s on your acoustics, give it a shot. Central Illinois, Mitch. Mitch never comments, but today you commented, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Central Illinois, Jackson PS4 sold it. So sad. Oh man, I can relate to that a little bit. My first guitar I ever owned, my first real guitar. I've got like a toy guitar. I'll show it to you. My first guitar was actually this little piece of crap harmony. It's like, it's not even a real guitar. It's a toy, basically. You can't play it. But I guess this is technically the first one. But I never learned to play on it, never played it. It's just, you can't really tune it, bridges. That doesn't count. I mean, I guess technically it's the first guitar-shaped thing I owned. But my first real guitar was a Takamine electric guitar, a Takamine GZ300. Looks kind of like a double cutaway Les Paul, basically. Daryl B07, he's from Canada. He said he bought a t-shirt from me a few years back, wore it to Metallica shows. Some dude wanted a pic of it. Somebody wanted a picture with you in the RNA shirt? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Jeffrey had my first guitar, 82 Squire Bullet. About 30 years, had to sell it to pay bills. Bills. I'm sorry, man. I was a moron when I was like 17 or 18. And I already bought, the first guitar was that Washburn. Takamine GZ300. But then when I was 16, I bought a Gibson Explorer. So my Gibson Explorer that I have is the first guitar I bought with my own money. I still have it, and it's super precious to me because, I bought it with my own money. And after I bought it, I never really played the Takamine. I also didn't really realize how kind of cool the Takamine was because it was a little bit unique and it was a good playing guitar. It just, it didn't have flames or stripes or, purple flames or, anything crazy on it. So it was very like wood grain finish. And I didn't really appreciate it for what it was. So I traded it in, I think at Guitar Center, for like an Ibanez with the Floyd Rose. And I did not I regretted that. And then I think I returned the Floyd Rose because I had a problem. And I traded it, like 25 days later at Guitar Center for an Epiphone Les Paul transparent black that was super cool that I don't even have anymore. And I have no recollection of what happened to that Les Paul Epiphone trans black guitar that I traded my first guitar for that my parents bought. Come to find out, Takamine didn't make electric guitars for very long in the 80s. A couple of years they made them, and then they stopped and went just back to acoustics. Oh man, so dumb. So I super regret trading off that first guitar. But I still have the first guitar that I bought with my own money. Of course, it was a friggin' Gibson Explorer, which is like pretty freaking nice guitar. I bought it for $500 with a case, used in 1992. I think at the time, a Gibson Explorer used was going for about $800 or $900. Can you imagine that? $800 or $900 for a Gibson Explorer. Used today, they're still like $2,000. It's crazy. Alan, yeah, his first was Ibanez with the Floyd. It's probably like the one I bought in the 90s. An 80 Fender Leadmaster. Vibra Les Paul Jr. was great, but long gone. Wow. Hey, JJ's House of Jams. So I guess I'm with the rest of you guys. I don't own my first real guitar, which was the Takamine, because I traded it off like an idiot. But I do still have the first guitar that I bought from saving up my money. My first real job, not working for my parents, was bagging groceries at a grocery store, stocking shelves, carrying out groceries for old ladies, mopping floors, that kind of thing. Grocery store stuff. First job when I was 16. Saved up my first couple of paychecks and bought a Gibson Explorer. Because why wouldn't you? I know this is terribly exciting watching me restring guitars, but I wanted to do a video, right? I feel like I'm not putting out enough videos on the channel. You know, one video a week is really not enough videos to grow a YouTube channel. But life is crazy. We have very busy days at our stage in life, and you know, running a business and teaching a truckload of students every day. So I just thought, I'm here at the shop. I'll be here for a little while. Why not get on YouTube and talk with you guys? I was going to use my phone because I thought I could get a better angle so you could actually see, you know, see the guitar that I'm working on. The phone wasn't really working. It wouldn't give me a wide angle shot with my phone, which is stupid. I thought for sure it would. Let's get the, hey. Let's get the lights. Okay. I don't know if you guys have one of these. These little Ryobi drills. Super great. You can get the little attachment. I got this one from D'Addario. D'Addario makes these. Super great little tool here. Stratosexual. What was your first good amp? Oh, I will tell you in just a second, as soon as I finish this last string. I'll actually show you my first amp because I still have it. It's in my lesson room. I'll grab it in a second. It's not a good one, but it is my first one. Let me grab that amp real quick. Give me 3 seconds. Give me 2 steps. Give me 2 steps, mister. Give me 2 steps for the door. This is not my first good amp, but it is my first amp. What up? Look at there. PV Decade sounds like fried crap on a skillet. Does not sound good at all. Although they're very popular right now because I think, what's his name? Josh Homme from, what's the name of his band? Crap. I was going to say Them Crooked Vultures, but that's his side band he was in. Queens of the Stone Age. Queens of the Stone Age, yeah. Isn't it funny that I remembered his side band first before Queens of the Stone Age? Josh Homme used one of these, I guess, on the album Queens of the Stone Age. He'll use this as it's probably not his main amp, but I would guess it would be the like, you know, just for sounds. It's probably a good amp for blending, right? So a freaking Decade. I still have this stupid thing, right? I think it sounds like garbage. I should do a video with it. I keep thinking I'm going to do a video like your first amp versus your current amp. Maybe I actually will do that one day. I still have that, but it doesn't sound great. At least I don't think it does. Now I haven't played through it in a long time. Funny story about that little PV. It actually kind of crapped out and died on me. Like it just stopped working. I was trying to drop the laptop. Like it just stopped working, right? And then, but I didn't get rid of it because I'm just a nerd and I keep stuff. I kept it in storage for forever. And then one day, after Angela and I were married, so this is probably after I graduated college, probably 02 or 03. I think I just on a weird whim, I grabbed it out of our storage building and brought it in the house and plugged it in, turned it on. It fired right up. I was like, holy crap. That is super weird that it would just not work, not turn on, no lights, no nothing. You just keep it in storage for 30 years and then it comes on. Now, my first, what I would think of a good amp was, it was a Fender Princeton Chorus, solid state, 2 10-inch speakers, 2-channel. Yeah, I've got to fire up this Decade and just mess with it and see what I can do. But a Fender Princeton Chorus, solid state, 2 10-inch speakers, 2 channels. So I had a clean channel and a dirty channel. That was super rad. Built-in chorus, built-in reverb. That was cool. Making me nervous. Because I could switch channels and I could play, you know, a clean channel, clean Metallica intros. And then, you know, you switch to the grit. So that was cool. It eventually died, crapped out. I think my next amp after the Princeton Chorus was, I'm pretty sure it was, hey, nice. I guess we did have a lot of the same equipment. Fun, you know, back in the, so this was back early mid 90s, a lot of that stuff. After the Princeton Chorus died, I think I got a Randall RG100 stereo chorus, 100 watt combo amp, 2 12-inch speakers. I actually still have the cab. It was a combo, but eventually the amp part of it died. And what I did is I took it to my normal. I took the amp out, and then I took it to my regular repair guys, and I had them just wire up as like a 2x12 cabinet. So I just took I still have it. It's back there in my storage in my box room, because I thought maybe one day I don't know why it died. Maybe I'll just see if I can have it fixed. But I've been using it, the 2 12-inch speakers. It's Celestion 7080s are in the cabinet. And I just use it as a 2x12 cab. You know, there's a little gap in the front where the amp, of course, was. But so Randall RG100 stereo chorus. It had the medals. It would do the medals. What was after that? It died when we were living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's when the Randall died. Trying to remember. I think I bought, because I worked at Guitar Center when we lived in Tulsa, so I had access to amps. And I never bought one while I worked there. After I worked there, I bought like a little Marshall, like their little tiny MG practice piece of crap amps. I returned it because it sounded okay in the store. Then it sounded like absolute garbage when I got it home, and there wasn't all this noise around when you're actually in your apartment. I was like, this sounds like buttholes. Man. Okay, so after, I think the next amp after, I only had that Marshall for like a day, and then I returned it because like, this sucks. You know, of course, after having 100 watt 2x12 amp. A little crappy practice amp just wasn't really cutting it. I think my next amp was the Fender Super Champ XD tube amp, built-in digital effects, and I liked that one a lot. It eventually died on me, but back then Fender had a 5-year warranty on their amps, and so I took it to a warranty place in Dallas, and they just gave me another one. It costs more to fix those things than it is just give you a new one. So I got a second Fender Super Champ XD replacement for the one that died, and I still have that one. That one's actually at the house. What was the next amp after that? I think the next amp after the Super Champ XD is actually the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. Yes, because there was a period of time, this Mesa dual rec that I have, it's a mid-90s 2-channel dual rectifier. One of my very good friends, Steven, if you watch the video of us in the park playing Seek and Destroy, go back a couple of videos in the channel. We're playing Seek and Destroy with our students. My friend Steven is the one who came up and sang for us. Steve had this Mesa Boogie dual rec, and there was a period of time where he was living in an apartment, him and his wife and his little kids, and he didn't have room for the Mesa, and we had a house, so he just stored the Mesa at my house, and I actually had it in my possession for a long time. It wasn't until after we started RNA Music. I actually had it here at RNA Music in my lesson room because Steve didn't have room for it, and then after several years of me having it and using it and playing it, and he didn't have room for it, he just said, "Hey man, do you want to buy the dual rec from me?" I was like, "Yes. Will you take payments?" And he's like, "Yes." So I actually my dual rectifier was really and Steven's one of my best friends. Like he's a good buddy of mine. Paul, bitter bass man, friends since junior high, 6th grade, since the 80s. Steve, been friends since the 90s. So my dual rectifier, I had it in my possession a long time before I actually bought it from Steve. After that, I don't know. I have a Jet City JCA 20H, Jet City 20-watt tube head and a little 2x12 cab. I still have that. It's in the room. Don't play it very much, but I have it. And then I got, trying to think of what order I got them in. Then I got the Devil Cat Jimmy. So I have a Devil Cat. We are Devil Cat dealers for Devil Cat amps. And then I had the Jimmy and the 2x12, oversized 2x12 cab here in the shop for a long time. Everybody came in, would play it and love it, but no one wanted to buy it, I guess, because they're not cheap. They're cheaper than Mesa Boogies, but they're not cheap amps, because they're still made in America. And then, eventually, I just said, you know what? I'm just going to keep this. This is going to be my Devil Cat. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever done an amp rundown before of we've done guitar collection videos. Never done an amp collection video. So it's kind of funny. I'm not really an amp guy. Dave said he has the Super Champ X2. I believe the Super Champ X2 is kind of like the replaced the XD. I don't think they have that anymore. Did they discontinue the X2? Oh, Dave, you said the JCA 22H. That would have been nice. I have the JCA 20. Julio Caesar, Brazil, in the house, man. That's awesome. I have some students who are half Brazilian. Their mom is from Brazil. And she obviously can speak Portuguese. Daniela is her name. Her son's no sprechen ze Portuguese. I think it's funny. It's like, how do you not know Portuguese, man? And your mom, because they go back to Brazil during the holidays. So they're going back to Brazil for Christmas. They go back to Brazil, like the boys and their mom go to Brazil during the summer to visit all their family. I'm like, Leonardo, how do you not know Portuguese? I mean, I don't know Portuguese, but I'm not Brazilian. Beautiful country. Never been there, but any videos, things I've ever seen about Brazil, man, super nice. Beautiful. Super Champ X2 is now discontinued. Yeah, I thought it was. So my XD is still kicking. For a little 10-inch tube amp, 10-inch speaker. Freaking tuner. Come on. I mean, they're great little amps. I used to do this with mine, Dave. I would actually unplug the 10-inch speaker and I would run a line to a 2x12 cab. So I would use the XD to power a 2x12 cab. Yeah, Sepultura is from Brazil. That's kind of how Brazil got on my radar back in the 90s. I'm a big Sepultura fan. From Chaos AD. Chaos AD. Tanks on the street. I freaking love Chaos AD. That record. And after that was Roots. I had the Roots record. Played the crap out of Roots in my Chevy Blazer that was lowered and slammed in the big speakers in the back. Everybody else is driving around jamming hip hop and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm jamming big O speakers in my low rider Blazer. I'm jamming Sepultura and Korn. There's plenty of bass in that stuff. That's pretty cool. I used to have a really sweet Sepultura t-shirt that I wore while I was in college. They were swearing on it, so I had to cover it up with like some flannel. All right, I think we're good on this. I missed that shirt. It was the green, and then the yellow had the big stripe down the front with the big S in it. Do I like any Brazilian team? Man, I don't play much attention to football or what soccer. Here we call it soccer here, of course, but I don't know much about that. I've never really followed like the World Cup. I played a lot of American soccer when I was a kid. I've got a buttload of trophies back here somewhere, soccer trophies. I'm going to put up in my lesson room. But you know, I never got into that stuff really. Funny story, soccer or football story. My sister, one of my sister's best friends, the guy she married, his family was originally from Turkey, and his name is Tony from Turkey, and Tony was like super amazing at football, soccer, and after they got married, they were going to move back to Turkey, and he was going to play like professional football, but they didn't. They stayed in America, and he became an EMT, so he's like a nurse. Anyways. Well, the action on this is really good. I'm on a super high bench. If you're wondering why I'm holding it, because this is my workbench is like pretty tall. All right, so this one's done. The only ones I know are Sepultura. Sepultura is the only Brazilian band I know. However, we have carried Tajima guitars here at RNA Music. I think technically I'm still a Tajima dealer, which is Brazilian guitar brand. You know, they're based in Brazil, so good guitars. Like no complaints. I don't have any on the wall at the moment, but we'll probably get some more Tajimas because they're cost effective. You know, they're not a Brazilian dollars guitars, and good quality. People are very nice. Angra, yeah, that's the guy. What's his name? He was in Megadeth. He's in Angra, or Angra was his band. Crap, what's his name? He just left Megadeth. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. It's late. Yes, Kiko. I subscribe to Kiko's YouTube channel. I watched his like he would do vlogs, like the rehearsal vlogs with Megadeth, and you know, he seemed like a really cool guy and like a really good guitar player. So yeah, I knew that Kiko was in Angra, but I've never listened to Angra. I don't know anything about them. So the only band I'm reasonably familiar with is Sepultura, and that's pre-breakup Sepultura. Like after Max and Igor left and did their own thing, I that was kind of it. Like I'm not post Max and Igor Sepultura. It was like, for me, it's Up to Roots is kind of my Sepultura life. That's the albums I enjoy. Up to Roots. After Roots, I've never really watched. I saw them at Ozfest. This is when Max and Igor were still in the band. They freaking killed it. They were like freaking amazing. I was like, that was awesome. It was Ozfest. That's where I got the shirt. I think Pantera played. Pantera, Sepultura, Ozzy, some other bands that are not important. Those are the bands. But yeah, man, very cool. Thank you for tuning in, Julio. Appreciate it. Yeah, Kiko. Let me open this other guitar. I got one more guitar. One more guitar I need to restring. I don't even know what it is. I mean, it's an acoustic, but I don't know what it is. It's 9 p.m. Texas time. What time is it where you guys are? Ooh. Okay. Well, this is one of my drum students' grandpa's guitar, and it's literally his grandpa. Interesting. It's a Conrad. Looks like a Gibson headstock, doesn't it? Looks like a Dove, doesn't it? Conrad guitars. Made in Japan. So I was trying to figure out, where the crap is this made? Made in Japan. That's pretty cool. It's pretty old too. It's got this nice adjustable metal bridge. That's pretty rad. I've not seen this guitar. This is new. 10:08 in New Jersey. Yeah, locking tuners are great. 10 p.m. Yeah, Kiko is great. I'm gonna see what size strings are on this bad boy. If you don't have one of these, this is a super useful tool. It is for me anyways. Because people bring in their guitars and I'm like, what strings you want? Like, I don't know. I'm like, how do you not know what size strings you're using? Looks like 11s. Excellent choice. My favorite. I do have some 11s. Okay, great. Let me grab some 11s real quick. Had to turn the heater down first. It's a little warm. It's a little toasty. The Dario 11s, very nice. Big fan. Let's see. This is a cool guitar. Oh, hopefully it won't give me any problems. The last one, one of the bridge pins gave me some problems. It did not want to come out, which was crazy. Let's see. Anybody got any questions? Part of this is just chatting with you guys, talking, questions. Oh, that came out very easily. Thank you. Thank you, Conrad. I appreciate that. I think I'm going to change these all at once. Yeah, it's like a copy. Like a copy of a Gibson. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Normally, I take all the strings off. That's my normal thing. Take them all off, because how are you going to clean the fretboard if you don't take all the strings off? So generally, I'm a guy. I take all the strings off. That way I can clean and condition the fretboard if I need to, polish the frets if I need to. Because this one's pretty old, I don't know the condition of the neck, I'm going to do the one string at a time thing. I don't always do that. I don't usually do that on newer guitars. Big John, Texas Big John in the house. Alan has a question. Alan's question is, does being a drummer help your guitar playing? EVH and Nuno started on drums, I think. Yes, 100 percentile. Alan, 100%. So I was just telling a student today, because we were talking about rhythm. I mean, he's a beginner. He's only had a couple of months of guitar lessons. And we're talking about playing in time, what a quarter note is, and playing with the beat and changing chords smoothly. He's like, what does that mean? I'm like, it means changing chords on time. It's like, what does on time mean? So I explaining, like, okay, music, there's a pulse to it. There's a beat. If we're in 4/4 time, that means there's 4 beats per measure. You want to change, you got to change chords in time. Imagine explaining that to somebody who doesn't know anything about music or whatever. Like, what do you mean in time? So we had to talk about that, counting. And I said, here's the problem with the guitar, especially if you guys imagine going back to when you started guitar at the very beginning, right? How difficult it is to get your freaking fingers to get the right angle, where you're pressing down the strings on the frets, but you're not muting the other strings, and all this stuff. And okay, I'm picking the right string, all the stuff that goes into playing guitar that is mechanically super awkward. All these things. And then you got to do it all in time. And you got to think about the beat, and you got to think about rhythm. Usually the first thing to go out the window for guitar players, especially beginning guitar players, is rhythm. You might play the right notes in the right sequence, in the right order, but not the right time. You might play your chords, but you don't change on time. So we have to talk about rhythm quite a bit with the beginning players. And I told one today, I was like, listen, I had 3 years of drumming, school band, like real drumming, like reading rhythms. Like you open up a page of rhythms and just play them, right? So I understood rhythms and rhythmic notation and counting and subdividing the beat and all that sort of stuff. I had 3 years of that before I got a guitar, and a couple of years of piano before that. So I had piano and drums before I started guitar. And I think it 100% helped me play guitar better, because all the other mechanical problems that we have with guitar, and fingers and pressure and Are you next to the fret, too far away from the fret? Are you pinching down hard enough? All the stuff that already makes guitar hard. Rhythm was not hard for me. And even now, like rhythmic stuff is pretty easy for me on guitar. I don't have to think much about it because, you know, I went on to be a music major in college. Got a music degree. I have actually I have 2 music degrees. And percussion was my main instrument. So reading all kinds of really stupid rhythmic stuff as a percussion major. Drumline, college drumline stuff, and all that mess. And and of course, playing drum set. I got a drum set. Did I get a drum set before I got a guitar? Probably around the same time I got a drum set, I had a guitar. So yes, 100%. I think I have a unique perspective on rhythm that most guitar players who their first instrument was guitar, it's probably a little bit different. And I think it 100% helped me be a better guitar player. Whoop. Other direction. To the point that I think if you can take some drum lessons, and I don't mean like drum set lessons. I mean, get someone to teach you how to read snare drum music. Like pretend you're in the school band and you have to play the snare drum. Right? Because it's all, what did Dave say? Dave said, I heard plenty of musicians who, while technically playing everything correctly, just don't have the groove, feel, and are never in the pocket. Drumming definitely helps with that, I think. I think so for sure, too. For sure. Because being in the pocket, playing with good feel or groove, you have to be in time. That doesn't mean being sort of sloppy with your timing, like, okay, on this bar, you were slightly ahead of the beat, and then you were slightly behind the beat, and then this measure you rushed, and that measure you drug. You know, groove has a lot to do with dynamics, actually. One of the things that makes something groove is your dynamic control on drum set. But there's a consistency to it. Like, you know, if you lay back on the snare, you're slightly, just a fraction of a second behind with your snare drum. You know, the bass drum can be right on the beat, your hi-hat can be on the beat, but your snare drum's just a microsecond behind the beat, but you're consistently a microsecond behind the beat. You're pulling back a little bit. You're in control. You're in control of it. Versus like, this is just how I play, you know. So yeah, it's an interesting conversation for sure. And I still play drums every day. I had a couple of drum lessons today. I teach drums still. I teach, drum set stuff, teaching rock songs and drum grooves. I also teach, students who are in the school bands. They need help with their all regions, solo and ensemble music. Snare drum solos, timpani solos, marimba solos, and stuff like that. So, yeah, all my years of percussion study, I think for sure helped me with my guitar playing. No doubt. I think drums are easier than guitar. I think of most of the instruments I've learned to play, guitar is pretty up there on the difficulty level. The only thing I've had to play that was harder, I thought, was the viola. The viola. I had one semester of strings class when I was at Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, Texas, Axum Jacks. As a music major, I had to take high brass, semester of high brass, semester of low brass, high woodwinds, low woodwinds, piano, of course, and then add a semester of the strings, because in Texas, as a band director, you might have to take over the orchestra department, right? The orchestra guy got fired or quit. You're the band director. You got to go do the orchestra now. So you had to, like, you know, understand orchestra instruments. So I had one semester of the viola, and I thought, this will be easy. I've been playing guitar for forever. How hard could viola be? Shockingly hard, because it's like not the same. I kind of thought it would be the same, you know, wrist positions and finger things. And the bow, getting the right speed and tension with the bow and the. So I think if you, the violin, the viola, the cello, that stuff, I think is harder than guitar. That's my thoughts. But of every other instrument I've learned to play, trumpet, saxophone, all that sort of stuff, I never really struggled with the other instruments. Clarinet, tuba, all that sort of stuff. You had to, you know, be at least competent enough on those instruments to teach a sixth grader how to play the trumpet. None of those instruments were that terribly difficult to be able to play scales and stuff. You know, I didn't struggle. You know, I had to do the oboe and the bassoon, Dave. And yes, I mean, of the reed instruments, yeah, oboe, bassoon, more difficult. But I think what happened was, because I'm a percussionist, I was a percussion major in college and not a wind player, I didn't have any embouchure. Embouchure is, if you're not a band person, embouchure is like, think of like your technique, the thing you do with your mouth to get the sound out of a wind instrument. Now, what you do with your lips and your mouth to play a trumpet is not the same thing you do to play a saxophone with a reed. And, you know, flute, I had to play the flute. First one I played was a flute, and they're like, do this with your mouth. I was like, okay. So all of us who were percussionists were like, oh, okay, like this. And we just did it, right? You take somebody who's been playing the trumpet for, you know, 8 years and go, hey, do this with your mouth to play the flute. They're like, they're fighting their natural, all those years of training with their mouth to play a trumpet well. That's, you know, so I think all of us percussionists, because we were blank slates and we didn't have any muscle memory in our mouth for instruments, I think it was probably easier for us to pick up the wind instruments, which is probably why I struggled with the viola, because I had a lot of guitar muscle memory technique, and I was sort of probably fighting my guitar tendencies in my hands. I was trying to use guitar hands to play the viola, and you do not use guitar hands. That just now occurred to me. All right, how about that? I had an epiphany. Anyways, of all the other instruments, I think guitar is reasonably difficult, because for the most part, if you're like me, if you're right-handed, we use our non-dominant hand to do all the super really fine motor skill stuff on guitar. Right? Why is guitar so hard? Why does everybody quit? Why do most people quit when they start playing guitar? Well, you're using your stupid hand to do some really fine motor skill control things. Imagine being right-handed, and then after, 12 years of being right-handed, everybody's like, oh, great, I'm going to need you to learn to write with your left hand. What? That's crazy talk. So my theory on why guitar is hard is because, for the most part, we're using our stupid hand for all the fretting stuff. And we're using our smart control hand to, like, hold a pick and do this. Your picking hand doesn't really have a lot to do. You're either picking one string or multiple strings. You're either strumming or you're picking. You're either going down and up. And that's it. Fretting hand, lots of crap you have to do. And it's also my theory on left-handed guitar players You take guys like Nick Johnston, who's left-handed and is stupid good at guitar. You got Michael Angelo Badio. He's left-handed. He plays like ambidextrous. He can play righty or lefty. Joe Perry from Aerosmith, left-handed guitar player that plays guitar like a righty. And sure, you have guys like Hendrix and Iommi, and there are guys who flip the guitar around and upside down and all that sort of stuff and, you know, fret with their right hand. But there's as many, or if not more, left-handed guitar players that fret with their left hand. And logically, it seems like for once in your life as a left-handed person, my sister's left-handed, so I get it. For once in your life as a left-handed person, you have a genetic advantage. For once, right? Now, it all feels hard when you're a beginner. It's super awkward for right-handed people to play the guitar. I teach a lot of beginners. A lot of beginners. It's awkward. None of it feels natural in the beginning, right? And I have had left-handed people. I have left-handed players who will play what I think of as the traditional way, and they progress faster than righties do. I've seen that a lot. Now, I have people who are left-handed who take lessons from me who already have been playing for a while, and they have a left-handed guitar. And I'm like, we're just going to keep going. You've already been playing. You've already started your journey with a left-handed guitar. You might as well stick to it. But if you're a blank slate guitar player, I 100% believe you have a genetic advantage and you will progress faster. That just makes a lot of sense to me. Problem is, it's both. I mean, you meet left-handed players who buy left-handed guitars and they fret with their right hand and strum with their left hand. And then you meet left-handed players who fret with their left hand and strum with their right and are very good. You can find very good on both sides of that thing. I think it's just whatever you decide to do, you will do. Yeah, Dave has a really good point. And I think you can 100% do whichever. Whatever you choose to do, you can totally do it. I mean, there are people who play freaking guitar with their feet. I mean, I know y'all have seen that. They're using their toes to freaking play the guitar, and they're just ripping it up. I'm like, all right, come on. Someone can learn to play guitar with their feet. You know, you do have a bit of I think you have a literal physical genetic advantage if you're left-handed and you play this way. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Now, whether you believe you do or you don't can make a difference. I think it helps if you believe that you do. I think it makes sense. You do. You do. I don't forget about the whole, everybody uses the argument of like, you have more choices of guitars, and that is a fact. If you go into a guitar store, they're going to have a buttload of right-handed or normal guitars, very few left-handed guitars. So not only do you have a physical advantage, you have way more choices in guitars. And we have a friend, somebody that Angela went to high school with. He's a guitar player. I don't know if he's a guitar player or he's someone who plays guitar. Is there a difference? Anyways, he's left-handed and he learned to play. I mean, when he was a kid, they said, oh, you got to have a left-handed guitar. So he got a left-handed guitar. And, you know, that's kind of how he learned to play. And he was down here in Canton, and we were at a friend's house who has a recording studio, and just over there kind of hanging out, a bunch of guys. Girls are all sitting around talking. You know, ladies are sitting around talking, having a good time. all the dudes, we were all over in the studio, like hanging out, talking, jamming. And he forgot to bring his guitar with him from Dallas. I guess he didn't know we'd all be playing guitars. And so he's just sitting around watching us all play guitars. And everybody's grabbing guitars off the wall, like, hey, you play, come play. And it's like he couldn't play. He couldn't jam with us because the only guitars there were right-handed guitars. So he just kind of had to sit and watch, be like, oh man, should have brought my guitar. I felt bad for him. I kind of did. And I was just like, man, I don't know. Those situations are going to happen. Hello, guitar dude. 1111 guitar dude 1111. That's a lot of 11s. Anyways, what are you guys' thoughts? Are any of you guys left-handed? Let me know down in the comment section. That'd be wonderful to know. I know we have some left-handed players on the channel. Shane, who's in Japan, he's left-handed and he has left-handed guitars, and that's how he plays. I'm pretty sure we have some left-handed players that watch the channel that play righty. Didn't mean to get off on a tangent about that, but this would probably go faster if I wasn't filming a video. But I knew I was going to be here late after work restringing guitars. And I feel like we definitely don't have enough videos going up regularly on the channel. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. All 13 of you. Hey, 13 people watching, 13 thumbs up. That's like a perfect record. Thank y'all for hanging out with me and talking. Alan says, I am left-handed, but play righty. I throw lefty and righty. That would be a great comment of the day, Alan, actually. Yes, Dave. Dave has an amazing comment. He says, what really blows my mind are players like Eric Gales, who plays left-handed, but without flipping a guitar over, but not switching the strings. Right? Like how ridiculous is that? But he learned to do it. So I'm of the opinion, and this is just my opinion. I don't have any science data. My opinion is you could learn to do whatever you needed to do. If you want to bad enough, you can learn to do whatever you need to do. If you lost your right hand in an accident, a drive-by sharking accident, you lost your arm because you were swimming with sharks like a dum-dum, you could learn to write with your left hand. Would it take you a while? Yes, it would. Would it be incredibly frustrating? Heck yes, it would. Could you do it eventually with enough practice? Heck yeah. Heck yeah, you could. With enough time and effort and practice, if you get the reps in, you could totally do it. There are no left-handed pianos. That's a true statement. How many left-handed piano players have there been? I don't know. A bunch, I'm sure. Like I said, my older sister, 2 years older than me, she's left-handed. We both took piano lessons as kids. They didn't flip the piano around backwards for her from me. Now, what happened was, anytime we had some music that had some really interesting moving left-hand bass line stuff, she could do that. She could learn those pieces a little bit quicker than I could. And when we had music that had, a little bit more static, less involved left hand, and the right hand was going at it, I mean, guess what? She learned that too on piano. Oh my goodness. We both learned to play the piano. How amazing. When each hand is kind of doing a different job, you just learn to play. Not a bunch. Some of the guys on the drum lines I was on, right-handed, left-handed. And there are certain things you do drumming. You start with your right. And then there's some things you do. You start with your left. Rudimental drumming. A lot of drumming rudiments. Practicing your rudiments. You start them with your right. You start them with your left. And you have some that like invert while you're playing it. Paradiddles, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left. There's a lot of drum. I'm not talking about drum set. I'm talking about real drumming. I'm just kidding. Drum set playing is real drumming, but classical percussion. Snare drum, tenors, timpani, xylophone, marimba. Well, guess what? The things that I had to do, that I had to start with my left, I had to practice the left-handed stuff about twice as much as the things that started with my right. But they evened out. I don't know. Something to that. Okay, let's tune this bad boy, Conrad. Cool guitar. I guess I could show you some cool guitars. You guys who are still here, all 17 of you, are super rad people. And since you're super rad, and it's been an hour and 11 minutes, after I tune up this acoustic, I'll show you a cool guitar that I'm going to do a video about eventually when I have all the spare time in the world. Actually, I need to do it pretty soon because it's not my guitar. A friend of mine here in Canton let me borrow it. He's like, "Hey, check out this guitar," and I was like, "What?" And he just, "Yeah, keep it for a little bit." I was like, "Sweet, I'll make a video." Just haven't had a chance to make a video. Let me finish this. Woo! Scared me. Freaking bridge pin pulled up. Y'all ever get nervous when you're tuning your guitar, like you're waiting for it to snap and stab you in the eye? Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Yeah, normally we get done at the shop about 7 o'clock. It's 9:39. Thursday night, Texas time. Normally we finish teaching about 7 p.m. And go home sometimes. Or Thursday nights, we usually stay for about another hour or so after closing and film ASK RNA. We did not do that tonight, but I had 3 guitars dropped off today right before I started teaching lessons. And I thought, you know what? I can just get to work early in the morning and restring these tomorrow. Or I can stay late tonight and do it. So that's what I'm doing. It's the joys of being self-employed. Self-employed business owner living the dream is sometimes you work late, sometimes you get to work early, and sometimes you go home late. Yay. But I don't have anybody telling me what to do. I don't have a boss telling me, "Hey, Ryan, you're working late tonight. Stay until you get this done." I just have me doing that. I also don't have anybody yelling at me if I went home and did it tomorrow. I ain't got no boss. I also get to work a lot. That didn't really... Ooh. too high. I don't have a strap. There we go. There it is. Very low action on this. Very, very skinny frets on that dude. Yeah, I mean, look at that headstock. I mean, that's a Gibson headstock. Made in Japan. It's probably from the 70s, I would guess. For sure. Okay, let me put this one in its case. No, can't go there. Where are we going to go? Case. All right, I'll put this up, and then I'm going to go get that cool guitar to show you guys in just a second. That other acoustic does not have a case. This one does. 16 of y'all here. All right, give me just half a second. I'm going to show y'all something I think is pretty cool. We are looking for blues. Wonder where they are. We are looking for blues clues. Okay, here we go. Gave it away. Gave it away by the case. So pretty cool guitar that hopefully, maybe this weekend after my birthday, I'll make some time to film a video. Yeah, so one of my friends or one of my customers locally, who I do restrings for him. We were talking guitars the other day. He was telling me about this one. Ooh. And I was like, oh, that's super rad. And then he's like, I'll bring it by. You can play it. I'm like, okay. It's a Les Paul 1979 Kalamazoo KM, just like the one Robert Baker has. Neck, it's got the volute. This was actually at the freaking pawn shop here in Canton, Texas, a couple of years ago. One of my students' parents, who's a guitar guy, he watches Robert, he watches us. He's like, bro, there's a KM at the pawn shop. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, just like Robert's. I'm like, oh man. And then it's got the DiMarzios. And I was like, oh, that would be cool. But I definitely was not in the market for buying a Les Paul at the time. And he said, oh, and then a couple days later, he's like, oh, it's already gone. I'm like, oh man. Turns out a guy here in Canton bought it. And he's got a bunch of like young guys, younger than me. He's probably 30. He's got a bunch of different guitars. He likes cool guitars. And so he bought it. And we were talking about Les Pauls the other day. 3-piece maple neck. Freaking sweet. Anyways, he brought it by. And he's like, here you go, you can play it. I'm like, bro, I gotta take some pictures. So I took some pictures, sent them to Robert. I'm like, bro, it's funny. It's not that heavy. Robert talks about his being really heavy. This one's not super heavy. I mean, it's not light, but it's not a boat anchor. Well, okay. I need to weigh it. I don't know. Anyways, so he brought this for me to play with. Yeah, freaking Gibson suing. I think. Yeah, they're trying to take the trademark away from DiMarzio. I think they're trying to take the cream trademark away. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about that, honestly. Well, I think it sucks that Gibson's suing people for it. But can you trademark a color? I mean, the color, like cream bobbins. We trademarked the color cream. No one else can use the color cream. I don't know. I haven't read much too deeply into it. But I don't know. Gibson's, I think they're more litigious than they need to be, obviously. Anyways, this is a cool guitar. I've had it for about a week. I played it for about 2 days. When he dropped it off, I taught lessons with it. And I've actually got a video of myself practicing ZZ Top songs for the tribute band. That might come out later on. I'm thinking about doing a series called Band Camp. ZZ Top Band Camp. This is just me freaking practicing learning ZZ Top songs. Warts and all, like bad notes and all, and like the process of learning songs. Which I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Everybody always puts on their best thing. When they play guitar, it's always like, you don't know, that might have been their 47th try at playing that, so of course it's perfect. Because they're not gonna publish the show the videos of all the mistakes. They're just gonna show you perfection. But this is me like literally like learning and practicing ZZ Top songs for a tribute band. So it's like warts and all, good notes, bad notes. But I did use this on the video number 1 of that, and that might come out. I haven't decided if I want to put it out or not, because it's not like perfect. It's me like freaking figuring it out, messing up. A ZZ Top, not a AAA flame top. It's a ZZ Top. So I don't know, but there is a video of that, but I'm actually going to try to do a dedicated video just on this guitar pretty soon, so I can give it back to its owner. Like, he's not in a rush. He's like, take your time. Like, he's got a buttload of guitars, so he's not in a super hurry for it. But I will do a video soon on this guitar. It's pretty rad. It actually is pretty rad. I was shocked about how thin the neck is. It's actually a pretty thin neck. It's not a big, fat, beefy neck for a 79. I mean, maybe the 70s Les Pauls weren't fat and beefy. The frets are shockingly low. So very like low frets. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. Alan said, if you were in the market for an LP, what model would you get? Well, I have a Les Paul Standard. A 96, and I like it. I was practicing it last night. I almost bought an Epiphone Les Paul Custom Silverburst yesterday. Like, I literally like had it in the cart and all the financing and all the stuff, and I was about to hit the button, and I'm like, don't do it, because I just got a guitar last Saturday. So last Saturday? No. Saturday before last. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I can't tell time. I just got a guitar. I just got a new guitar. It's not new, it's used, but I just got a guitar. If you're on the RNA Music Instagram, you probably saw it. But I just got a guitar for my birthday. My birthday's Saturday. Ever since I turned 40, I've gotten a guitar for my birthday. That's my birthday present. For surviving another year on this planet, I get a guitar. That's my prize. And tax deduction. And tax write-off. So I got a guitar for my birthday this year. It's not this, but I almost got a Les Paul Custom Epiphone Silver Burst, and I didn't do it. If I was going to get a Les Paul, if I were in the market for a Gibson Les Paul, probably a Les Paul Custom. That's what I've always wanted. I've always wanted a wine red or the cherry Les Paul Custom because it would match my Gibson Explorer, same color as my Gibson Explorer, but the Les Paul. And our Les Paul Standard that we have is that cherry color, which is why I got it. But I always wanted a Les Paul Custom. So I always say I want a Les Paul Custom. Actually, I've always wanted a 75 Les Paul Custom because I was born in 75. That would be super rad. I think it would be super rad. I don't know. They're hard to find. This is a cool guitar. It's a 79. It is pretty cool. I freaking like it. So I have the feeling I would like a 75 Les Paul Custom. Yeah, Alan said maybe this is a 60s spec 79 because the neck is not fat at all. It's more of a D shape. It feels like a D shape kind of a thing. Not a it's not a C shape. I don't think it is. It doesn't feel like a C shape to me. Anyway, super cool. I'm going to try to do a video on this, specifically on this guitar, close-ups and good camera angles and stuff. Probably will be I'll probably put out the Bandcamp series. I've got about 6 days, like Bandcamp day 1, and then day 2, day 3. I'll probably put those out. I think I will. So who cares if people see me make mistakes and screw up, right? That's what happens when you practice. You figure out mistakes and you fix them. That's what practicing is. Yeah. Yeah. Very low frets on this dude. And the guy who owns it, James, is his name. And we were talking the other day because he came by. He's like, "Oh, did you do the video yet?" I'm like, "Not yet. Been busy." He's like, "Okay, no worries." I was like, "Man, these frets are small frets." He's like, "Yeah, it's great for slide." I was like, "It would be great for slide." You know who has songs with slide in it? ZZ Top. So, anyways, all right. Yeah, this is pretty rad. It's pretty cool. Almost ordered an Epiphone Les Paul Custom. The one I almost ordered was a Silver Burst. And the newer Epiphone Les Paul Customs actually have ebony fretboards. I think some of the earlier Epiphone Les Paul Customs did not have ebony fretboards. That's the whole freaking point of a Les Paul Custom is freaking ebony fretboards. So, there you go. That was a cool one. Let's see. Dave L. The Jerry Cantrell Wine Red Custom is sweet, but black custom with nickel hardware is my next one. Yeah. Yeah, I like the Jerry Cantrell one. I'm kind of torn. I've been going through a crisis of conscience. I have not too many guitars, but I have a lot of guitars, and I'm still obsessed with them. And I still want more. And I just got one a little over a week ago that I'm freaking loving. Freaking love this new guitar I got. It's not brand new. It was used, but it's new to me. Yeah, I don't know if you're looking, Big John. There's like right now, I think it's Musician's Friend has Epiphone Les Paul Custom Silver Burst on sale, marked down to $599. Normally they're like $750 or something like that. But Musician's Friend has the brand new with the new headstock shape and ebony fretboards Les Paul Custom. It's like $599, which is like, bro, that's like a deal because they're normally $750, so it's like 25% off. I'm like, I like deals. And I like guitars, but I'm kind of like, I have the Gibson, I have the Les Paul standard Gibson, I have my Gibson Explorer, And as at the moment, we have 1, 2, like 3 Epiphones. So part of me kind of like wants to get a Gibson. You know, but they're like even used for the things that I want are like $2,000. Bye, Jeffrey. Thank you for hanging out, dude. $2,000. Like I've been looking at some flying V's, like the Cherry, like a mid-90s, early 90s Cherry flying V that matches my Explorer. But they're still all like friggin' $2,000. So, and used Les Paul standards from the 90s are like still like $2,000. Les Paul Customs, used Les Paul Customs are still like $4,000. So, but I kind of want more USA guitars, but I also know that on a day-to-day, regular, real-life basis, I do not play my USA guitars the most. I freaking play. I play my Korean guitars. I play my Schecters. I've been playing an Epiphone a lot lately. I play my PRS SEs, even though I have an S2. I freaking play the SE PRSs more. Play the Schecters a lot. I do play my CMG guitars, my CMG RNA Music Custom. I do play that one, and that is a USA guitar. And the CMGs are definitely more budget friendly than a Gibson. You know, but lately at home is where my Explorer is and my Les Paul Standard is. And when I'm practicing guitar at home, I'm either playing the Explorer, the Les Paul Standard, or my very nice custom shop USA Washburn. So at the house I'm generally playing the USA guitars, and here at work I'm playing the imports mostly. Man, the last couple of times I've played my Gibson Explorer and my Gibson Les Paul Standard, are like, these are nice. These are nice. And I kind of want a Gibson Flying V to go with my Les Paul and my Explorer. That's the right color. You know,
I found this on the web.
I wasn't talking to you. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that's ego or emotional, whatever. But when I was looking at the Epiphones, I was like, bro, you can get a freaking Epiphone for like $600, $500-$600, and they're good. They're like perfectly servable. You could gig with that. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn because it's like I could swing it financially, you know, do like no interest financing or something. I could do that. I can't write a check for $2,000 for a guitar. But you could get 4 guitars. You could get 4 decent playing guitars for the cost of like one Gibson USA. One used Gibson USA. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I've got more guitars than I can play at one time. I keep a running list of the guitars that I own. And I don't know. I keep wanting more. But it's kind of a weird thing. You know, if I sold all of my import guitars, first of all, I wouldn't, because there's a couple that I'm like, I'm not ever going to sell that guitar. If I sold all of my imports, I could buy several USA guitars. But I think I would be sad that I sold some of those imports. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, Schecters are great. I got a Schecter. Let me show you this. This is not the birthday guitar, but this is a guitar that I got a few months ago. I filmed an unboxing. I filmed an unboxing video, but I never finished like the play test part of the unboxing video. This is a Schecter Solo 2 Custom. right? You've probably seen it on my Instagram, maybe on the YouTube channel. You'll see it in the background of the Ask RNA videos. We used it last week's Ask RNA video. This is, I don't know how old. Several months. I've had it for several months. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look at the flame on that. Look at that flame. It's redonkulous. And it's the right color. I always liked these. When these first came out, I was like, oh, baby. We're talking, this is Papa's favorite color, transparent black flame top. Oh my gosh. Block inlays, ebony fret. I mean, why would I want an Epiphone Les Paul custom when I could get this? And I got this, and this thing is freaking great. It's awesome. I love it. I've been playing it. I love the color. I like the natural back and sides, and then the top. This thing is great. Freaking great. I mean, look at that. Look at that top. So nice. Want to touch the hiney. Oh my gosh. Freaking love it. I still want more guitars. This one's really good. This stupid thing is hard to beat. I mean, this thing is great. Nicer. I mean, the Epiphone Les Paul Custom is not going to be nicer than this. Why do I want that again? Maybe that's why I couldn't buy it. Maybe that's why I couldn't push the button. It's like, bro, you got a Schecter that's freaking 4 or 5 months old, and it's, I mean, it does everything that Les Paul custom Epiphone would do, but probably better. And it's got a flame top. I mean, it's just so good. So I need to do a video on this 79 KM Gibson Les Paul. I need to do a video on the Solo 2 Custom. I need to do a video on the birthday guitar that I got about a week ago. I got a bunch of guitar videos I need to do. But life has been super crazy. So, yeah, this is... I should take this home tonight and play. I'm not going to play tonight. I don't have time to practice tonight. It's already 10 o'clock. Crap. It's a good thing I practiced this morning. I knew I got up early this morning and practiced guitar this morning. I knew there was a reason I did that. I'm glad. Okay. Let me hang this up. If you don't follow us on Instagram or Facebook, go check out RNA Music on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll see some of those guitars. Sometimes they're in the stories. I don't know if I put up a post of the new guitar. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Check out the stories though. So yeah, I mean that Schecter is great. Yeah, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need the Epiphone Les Paul Custom Silver Burst with a ebony fretboard. I have the Schecter. Okay. I did get my steps in, Big John. Oh, you can't see it. Come on. Oh, come on. 11,117. Yeah, the Silver Burst is pretty rad, though. I don't know. I'll probably eventually get one. Maybe. I don't need it. You don't need any guitars. You don't need guitars to survive. But man, we sure do want them, don't we? All right, guys. It's been an hour and 39 minutes. Thank you for hanging out and watching me restring guitars and talking to me and keeping me company while I did that. I appreciate that so much. Y'all have been wonderful. Stay tuned. Maybe we'll film Ask RNA tomorrow morning. Maybe. Then we're having a birthday party tomorrow night at Jerry's Pizza. And Saturday, I think all day Saturday, I'm going to go do a thing with my son. We're going to go play BattleTech at a geek store in Tyler, Texas. We're going to go to a BattleTech tournament and have some father-son time on my birthday. And then I don't know. Me and Angela are going out for dinner tomorrow, Saturday. I don't know. It's my birthday on Saturday. I'm going to try to have a relaxing, nice weekend and just chill out. Probably be playing guitar. I don't know. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon. Possibly have an Ask RNA out on Sunday. If we get one out this week, it'll be on Sunday, which is why I wanted to do a live. So thank y'all. I appreciate all of y'all. Big John, David, Belcher, Dave, Jeff T, Alan, Jeffrey Egan, all you guys who hung out with me tonight. Thank you guys very much. I hope y'all have a good weekend. And till next time, keep the music alive. Don't forget it. The music needs you. We need the music. We need to keep it alive for the next generation of obsessive, compulsive guitar collectors. Bye, guys. So excited.